So, I just wanted to come on here to say my piece about the whole Charlie Kirk assassination and all the talk I've been seeing all over social media, but also why beyond any of it, we need more compassion and love and have to stop with this whole constant division over everything. And of course, there's a lot of bad things going on in the world right now, at all times, just as how, as I'm always saying, there's also a million good things going on right now too. But of course, it's not just this. So if you want to say, why am I only commenting on this situation? It's not just this, but this felt like a major tipping point, which is why I felt like it was the right time to come on here and talk about some of these things. So first off, I didn't know him personally, of course, and I agree with some of the things he spoke about, and I disagree with some of the others. But he didn't deserve to die, he didn't deserve this. He had open dialogue, he stood up for what he believed in, and whether or not you guys agree or disagree with his beliefs, he stood strong on those. He was also really smart and by all accounts a really nice guy. I didn't know him personally, and also once again just to add on to this, there are of course a lot of horrible things out there that have happened, and that we've all been exposed to recently. But let me just say, as horrible as it all is, and as horrible as the whole world seems, the world isn't all a horrible place. There is good out there are good people out there, and we do have to mourn these losses all around the world, and the losses in our lives too, of course, but don't let it change you into a bad person. So I'm sure by now we've all been overwhelmed by seeing so much of the story in our feeds, and reactions from everyone, and I do think it's almost traumatic to oversee it and to over talk about it, but it did feel kind of wrong for me to not give any comments on this, in spite of how I have been avoiding politics intentionally on this channel over the past year or so. Now another piece to this, I'm all for questioning everything, so I'm not saying don't ask questions, but I do think people have gone too far with the whole everything is a conspiracy and nothing is real without giving any actual evidence. And I'm just who are you helping by saying these blanket statements? Let me clarify. Saying it's all staged because every event is not evidence that something is staged. Now of course, there are things that don't add up with this story, just as how it's that way with every story. But you have so many people on all sides rushing to certainty and wanting to be the first person to say something just based on pure speculation, or hearing it from this person or hearing it on here. You're only making people bow down to you, or to hate you, or are intentionally being divisive just to get clicks. I just don't get it. I mean at the very least wait a bit, wait to evaluate your thoughts, wait to see all the facts that come out, because you can't possibly have every answer within minutes or hours after it happens, but of course this is the time that we live in. And another issue is that the people who claim to be such perfect people and who are so self-righteous, or even the sick people who are celebrating someone's death because they disagree with their beliefs, these people are the ones who are judging everyone so much, and I don't think that's what you guys are preaching. We're talking about the death of innocent people, and lots of parents, kids growing up without a father, etc, etc, and maybe it's just my feed, but the whole everyone's amazing, it's all staged, every event is staged, and yes, I'm all for asking questions once again. We should be doing this. I don't know what happened exactly myself, but I see conspiracy people coming to absolute certainty within an hour of this happening when no one knows what happened. None of us know for sure what happened. No one knows who did it, etc, etc. I think we have to stop with this whole I'm the truth, you're all sheep, trust me. I'm sorry, but it's not what quote-unquote truth seekers are supposed to do. And this is why I've chosen to distance myself from some of these people to an extent. Not because I don't share a lot of the same beliefs with these people, but rather because I don't like this whole jumping to conclusions on every event. You also have people going, this person did it. This whole group did it. Other people going, it didn't happen. Do any of you know for sure though? No. All of you guys are reporting from hundreds of miles away. So to reiterate, jumping to conclusions isn't truth-seeking. You're monetizing people's skepticism, and it honestly alarms me how many people in the comments, which might just be bots for all I know, but how many people will hop on board with just any narrative. And that's just as scary as the people accepting what the news tells you. It's just as bad to accept the mainstream narrative as fact as it is to accept the first conspiracy narrative that comes up, because neither way involves any critical thinking. Wait to see all the facts, listen to as many people as you can, and then make your decision. But stay open-minded. Be open to being proven wrong. And truthfully, to the people in power, what matters most to them is that we're all fighting. I feel we've lost our humanity, but that's really what they want at the top. They want division, negativity, and hatred. They don't care who did it or why. But we need more love. The world needs it, because none of that other stuff solves anything, or helps us, I believe. Next up, social media can be a beautiful place, so I don't agree with all the people who are saying to get off it completely, because it all sucks. But when something like this happens, here's where you get the other end of the double-edged sword. Because everyone is being fed different news, everyone is reading different comments, and it's all pulling us apart, and of course a lot of this is intentional. So be very discerning with the information that you're intaking, as well as what you're putting out into the world too. Don't fall for the trap of becoming more divisive, or thinking you have all the answers and like no one else does. So much of this division is of course manufactured. As I'd hope we all know this by now. I sat back this past week and watched my social media feed go crazy. Everyone sharing opposite stories, and seemingly everyone in opposite realities. Some sharing loving kind posts to bring people together more, others dividing more, others making fun of death, which I think is sick no matter who it is when it comes to innocent people. Not just Charlie Kirk, but like anyone in the world. If you're mocking someone's death, you have some serious issues. Also, the people who say like, look at this hand signal, or this number, it means this. Now look, I've gone down every rabbit hole. I get it, a ton of conspiracies are true. And I believe a bunch of them, as I've spoken about on here in the past, and used to talk more about these. But it's about asking questions, not saying things like, this person didn't cry enough, so therefore the whole event is fake. Or this person did this hand signal, so therefore this means that. You have too many people making narratives to fit their worldview. But doing this jumping to conclusions is damaging, I think. It's making people feel powerless, it's divisive, and it's turning everyone into like perpetual victims. And I'm not for it on any side. I just want peace and love, so like, rest in peace Charlie Kirk, and all the other innocent souls who died too soon. Keep asking questions, but like, don't jump to conclusions. Spread love, don't lose your humanity, and don't let any of the evil that's out there in the world turn your heart cold. Pray for peace, and look, don't expect me to comment on this stuff too often, because there's a reason why I've shifted my focus to only covering positive stories, because I believe that doing this helps people more. But I just felt like the most recent events were a tipping point, so like I wanted to share some thoughts. We need to love one another and get close to God in the best way for each of us. I don't think there's only one right way, and just be the best people we can be. That's always going to be the solution in my opinion. And just to add on to this, I want to read like 2 of their posts I saw this past week that like I agree with and like found helpful. So Alex X said, questioning everything is essential, but dogmatically asserting that everything is fake and attacking anyone who doesn't immediately parrot that view appears less like critical thinking and more about a cult of cynicism. And that's especially so if they're making a broad sweeping claim like everything is fake without actually being specific or providing any rebuttal to the points being raised. Everything is fake / staged. How do you know that? Everyone with the platform is in on it. How do you know that? So like, definitely interesting things to think about. And furthermore, another post coming from Xavier Dogba said, there's a thought form that is highly impactful during the times. It sounds a lot like the world would be a better place without them. Who is them? People you think are the problem in the situation. Despite how justified we think we are, this fuels our collective divide. That's one of the most dangerous thought forms because it can give us license to unleash hell on the ones we perceive as the problem, while it discounts us of any responsibility. That thought form is the seed of war, and with different degrees of severity, we are all infected. This thought form has a mind of its own. I think of it as the spirit of discord and war, and it plays all sides. It especially loves to possess people who, at the core, have genuine good intentions. When it possesses us, it convinces us that our perspective about a specific issue is the only valid one. It traps us on a pedestal of self-righteousness combined with moral superiority, and from that place we feel divinely anointed to condemn and even dehumanize the other side. That spirit, if you let it, will hijack genuine goodness, radicalize it, and turn it into an instrument of darkness and ill will. At extreme levels, it makes you see the other as less than human and justifies destruction. That spirit is an insatiable, hungry ghost that only gets dispelled when you look at someone you perceive as the problem and rehumanize them. Yes, this is freaking hard, especially when we are so strong in our convictions, but self-righteousness is also short-sightedness. The kind of maturity it takes to say, I disagree with you and I refuse to see you as anything less than human, is the antidote to the spirit of war, and that's one of the things the earth needs most right now. Couldn't agree more, well said. So anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments below on anything I spoke about today.